You want to know who my favorite superhero is? Spider-Man.
Are you okay? I told you to lay off.
He's one of the most iconic superheroes of all time, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who considers him their favorite. One of those important aspects about him that makes him appeal to so many people is his relatability. And trust me, I'm going to be bringing this up a lot during this video. He deals with struggles similar to you and me, whether it be him struggling to meet rent up for his apartment or balancing his social life with others. And that's why I consider his relatability the key to his character. Also, some good stories tend to help out. As much as I like Spider-Man, I cannot deny that the current products we are getting out of the wall crawler are kinda all over the place. I obviously don't want to say that everything is bad now, you know, things were way better back in my day or something like that. But there's just some stuff coming out of Spider-Man that I am not the biggest fan of. First, let's talk about the recent live-action films, specifically the MCU movies. I think we can agree that the reception to these movies are very mixed. You either love these movies or you hate them. To me, I'm very in the middle. There's stuff that I like and stuff that I don't like. One of the major problems that I have with the movies personally is Spider-Man's relationship with Iron Man. Spider-Man is not the most tech-based superhero. He's a very smart character, but he doesn't use a lot of gadgets. The most tech that you're going to get out of him is his web shooters, and I think that's all it should be. It's very clear after the Iron Man relationship that tech-based Spider-Man bleeds into the other Spider-Man media coming out. It's really annoying because the movies are what a lot of Spider-Man media bases themselves on, whether they want to or not, largely because that's what the companies want. I also think this is bad for his relatability. You don't see normal people hanging out with billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos, or even worse, Elon Musk. To be more positive on these movies, I like Ned. Joking aside, I don't hate these movies. They're average MCU movies. I'm just extra critical because Spider-Man is a character that I love, and I feel like he's been done better in live action. And unfortunately, I'm not talking about the Andrew Garfield movies. I like Andrew Garfield as a casting choice, but the Amazing Spider-Man movies are just not it. Now, at the time of me recording this video, I do not know what is next for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. No Way Home's ending was the perfect reset for a story, and is what I want to see in a future Spider-Man film. With the entire world no longer knowing who he is and him being on his own, you have a lot of potential to make a great Spider-Man story. A Spider-Man story that I think could even be better than some of my favorites. However, we may not live in this blessed timeline. Rumors are suggesting that the next Spider-Man movie is going to be another multiverse story. Now, I don't hate the multiverse as a concept. I think it's a really cool concept. But I think you can agree that the multiverse saga has not been the most successful for Marvel. And also, we just had a live-action multiverse movie in the form of No Way Home. I think that we can take a break from it. But I guess Sony saw the success and saw dollar bills in their eyes and just want to keep milking. Let's not forget about Sony's own cinematic universe filled with Spider-Man side characters. Only like one of them was successful, and it's largely because it focuses on Venom, who is already a character that had pre-established popularity. Look, Kraven the Hunter is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, but I highly doubt that Sony can make a good movie out of him, especially with their track record with such classics such as Madam Web and Morbius. But I guess rumors are rumors, and I've yet to see what Spider-Man 4 is actually about. There's always a chance that we get a street-level Spider-Man story that I want. So for now, I'm going to hold my judgment until we actually get some information for Spider-Man 4 officially. So let's move on to something that has become very important to Spider-Man recently, and that is his video games. I can't talk about it a lot because I still haven't played Spider-Man 2 yet. I refuse to buy the no games machine, but I will say, the first two games, Spider-Man PS4 and Spider-Man Miles Morales, are great games. I have some story problems with them, but overall, they're very fun. While I haven't played Spider-Man 2 yet, I have been spoiled on the story. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I got spoiled. I am not a big fan of the story decisions they made for this game. I obviously won't spoil it. The game isn't even a year old yet, so don't expect any spoilers from this game coming out of my mouth, but I am just not a big fan of it. but I'm sure once I finally get my hands on 2, I'm still gonna enjoy it, even if I don't like the story. I do miss when there was a variety of Spider-Man games coming out, and not just one Spider-Man series coming out by one studio. There are a bunch of other studios out there that I think can do a great job with the Spider-Man IP, and I don't think Insomniac should be the only ones with the key to this franchise. However, I don't want a Spider-Man game to come out every year just like when Activision had the rights to the wall crawler. Unpopular opinion here, but I think that developers should have as much time as they need to work on the games. They're struggling enough, so please don't treat them like trash. I still think that it would be good if Insomniac weren't the only people working on Spider-Man games. It'll definitely leave less of a load on them when it comes to working on their mainline Spider-Man games. Now let's move on to something that I've been dreading talking about. The comics. Now I want to specify that I specifically am talking about the mainline Spider-Man comics, aka the Amazing Spider-Man comics, aka Earth 616 Spider-Man. I feel like most people already know what's going on in these comics. They are not very good as of late. This recent run of Amazing Spider-Man is going all over the place, and I am not liking any of the directions it's going in. I think we can all agree where the tipping point was for why these recent Spider-Man stories have been happening, and that is one more day. Now, if you don't know the plot, Aunt May was killed. So what does Spider-Man do? Sell his marriage to the devil. Spider-Man's marriage has went on for years at this point in the comics, and this was a ginormous regression of his character. The Spider-Man I knew would never do this. This would be like if there was a story where Peter would have to travel back in time just to save Uncle Ben and never become Spider-Man. He wouldn't do that. Actually, maybe I shouldn't give Marvel writers any ideas. Looking at the comics now, the repercussions of One More Day are still applying because Marvel introduced the biggest slap in the face to any Spider-Man fan, and that is Paul, Mary Jane's new lover, and absolutely everyone hates him. I have not seen a single person defend this character. It's honestly a beautiful sign. It finally reunites us Spider-Man fans together. Many people clapped when Paul and Mary Jane's kids evaporated into the stratosphere. He's just unnecessary tension for a relationship that shouldn't be gone in the first place. Another thing they're trying to do is like having a new relationship between Norman and Peter, which I feel like doesn't really work. For one thing, this is the guy who tormented him for his entire life. I never see a dimension where they work together unless they, didn't know each other. This once again adds to my problem of Spider-Man becoming way too tech-paced by Peter using Norman's inventions. Also, just look at this. I just hate this. This is just bad. I feel like Marvel is relying way too much on shock value. They are clickbaiting their audiences, seeing what ridiculous stuff they can come up with, just so they can sell some comics. They really should just focus on making iconic Spider-Man stories that many people will remember, and will soon be adapted in many other mediums. But I guess Marvel just doesn't care. Now, if you want to do right on Spider-Man's part, Marvel, you should let me write a Spider-Man comic. And here's my pitch. What if Spider-Man had a gun? I didn't want this video to end on a negative note, so I want to talk about some Spider-Man stuff that I'm actually excited for. As you can tell when I was talking about the Spider-Man movies, I intentionally left out the Spider-Verse films. Why? Because they are amazing. They are some of my favorite Spider-Man stories ever. They really work with the medium, and I absolutely love them. These movies also cemented Miles Morales as one of my favorite Spider-Men. And as you guessed, I am very excited for the third and final film. Though I hope they treat their animators better than how they treated them during Across the Spider-Verse. Just like game developers, animators have a hard job, so making things better for them is always better for people. I know people have mixed opinions on this next thing that I'm going to talk about, but I'm very excited for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man animated series. I saw leaked footage of an early trailer for it, and I know people are, once again, mixed on it, but I really like what I see. I can't show the trailer because I'd probably get copyright strikes, seeing as the fact that it's not officially released, but if you're able to find it, then I'd like to hear your opinion on the trailer. The story seems to be that Norman Osborn is the one that met Peter before Tony Stark did, and found out his secret identity. So it seems like they're going to work together. I'm okay with this solely because this Spider-Man does not know who Norman Osborn is, compared to Amazing Spider-Man, who knew him for like his entire life and ruined his life on multiple occasions. Also, Daredevil's going to be in it, and he's like one of the rare superheroes that I think actually work with Spider-Man alongside like the Fantastic Four, Hulk, and Doctor Strange, in my opinion. Lastly, even if 616 Peter is struggling, we can read a story that has Peter actually winning in life. And that story is the recent Ultimate Spider-Man comics, not to be confused with the other Ultimate Spider-Man comics. I know, comics are confusing sometimes. In this universe, Peter is already married to MJ and has 2 kids. He hasn't even been bitten by the spider yet. That is a great concept for a Spider-Man story, and they're doing a great job so far. I highly recommend you check it out. Spider-Man is going to exist forever. I may complain about him now and his current state that he's in, but he's not going to be in this state forever. There are a bunch of talented writers that can do amazing things with these characters. And as much as I complain, I'm still glad to be a fan of the wall crawler. Just please don't bring back Paul. In fact, we should just erase Paul from existence, just like his kids. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for my friend Luna for making the thumbnail, and have a good rest of your day.